So I'm just making this video off of my mind, no script, no nothing, but I have to say it. Somebody gotta say it. HYPERLASER is busted. He's overpowered and he is blatantly the most powerful character in the entire game of fighting. And let me tell you why. So basically, I'm going to break it down into some different components. You have first his damage. Now, I understand HYPERLASER is a class that, is supposed to sit in the back of the fight. Sit in the back of the fight, snipe and do that sort of thing. So that's his job. And since he's a sniper, he would reasonably be able to do a lot of damage. Okay, that makes sense. But the fact that this man is doing like 40, 50 damage per shot while he's in the back, and then there's nothing the team can do about it unless they have a skateboard or a shuriken go, and then they have to try to fight or kill the HYPERLASER. There's nothing the team can do about it except just watch as they get shot up and literally executed, bruh. Like, I gotta be honest, dude. Having a HYPERLASER on the enemy team and your team not having one is such a big advantage for them, because that's all they have to do. Just sit in the back and snipe you over and over and over, and there's not a thing you can do about it but just watch it happen. And you may be thinking, oh, well, you gotta have someone confront the HYPERLASER. You gotta have, Skate go out there. You just gotta have Skate or Shuriken go out and try to fight the HYPERLASER. Well, that doesn't work either, because HYPERLASER has two ridiculously busted moves which he should not have. First move is his wireframe or his wiretap, whatever it is. I don't know the moves of the character specifically, but I've had to learn them because I am a Skate main, if you can't tell by the gameplay. And I've had to somewhat learn this character's moveset so I can even have a chance of fighting against him. I understand you got to do that for all characters, but for HYPERLASER, it's crazy. So basically, he has a move, an AoE move, two moves. He has his move that speeds him up and knocks Skateboard off board for whatever reason, speeds him up and slows the person who is with him or who is trying to chase after him. And then he has a grenade, which applies slow, which applies the wireframe, and makes it so like he does so much damn damage, it is ridiculous. Now tell me why a skateboard or a shuriken, how in the world are they going to be able to kill a good HYPERLASER that can aim? Because I know how to play skate, but you're telling me I have to go and try to kill someone with 200 HP who does like 50 damage per shot, and I can't do nothing about it because his moves, guess what they do? Knock me off board. Doesn't make any sense that this guy's moves instantly knock Skate off board. Like, that's literally Skate's whole thing on surviving. Skate is a survivalist if he stays on board. Skate can survive if he stays on board. If he's off board, that man is dead. Against the HYPERLASER especially, because Skate does not have a high health pool. And you're telling me he can instantly just knock me off board, back away from me, and then just start shooting. And I just have to wait until my cooldown for my board, runs low so I can use my board again, do some tricks so I can get back on board. It's just simply not fair. And another thing I wanted to say that, goes along with that pretty well. HYPERLASER's HP, his health. I understand this character is a character that's a sniper. He has tanky armor, tanky build, tanky whatever. But there is no reason for a character who does that much damage to be having 200 HP. I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but with characters that do a lot of damage, what do they all typically have, They all typically have low health pools to make up for the fact that they do so much damage, like how Skateboard can literally insta-kill some classes, like how Skateboard literally can insta-kill a Shuriken, basically. Literally insta-kill. But in order to make up for that, Skateboard has a low health pool. Shuriken can do a lot of damage. Shuriken has a low health pool. All these classes that can do a ton of burst damage have low health pool. Now, why in the world is HYPERLASER allowed to do that exact same thing while having 200 health, 100 HP, and 100 shield? Basically, he's a tank with the damage of an assassin character, and it makes zero sense. There's no reason why this dude is able to do half my health. No, literally like half my health with like one shot while I'm trying to get at him, and there's no way I can chase him down. There's no reason he should be able to do that. There's no reason at all. It's completely unfair, and I don't care what anyone says about it. It just doesn't make any sense, and it's not reasonable as a character. You know what I mean? Another issue. Um, yeah. And another issue that I gotta say is, the possibly the worst issue with this character. Now, with every character in the game, what can you do? You can actually fight them. You can actually attack them. Every single character in the game, you can, there's a Rocket about to use his ultimate. Someone about to use their ult or whatever. You can run them down, chase them, and start attacking them, whatnot, right? HYPERLASER though just throws this out the freaking window, because HYPERLASER, guess what he has? With all the moves, with all the mobility moves he already has, which is insane by the way, which is to be a tank class and have this much mobility. Ridiculous. This man can also get this teleport to places above the map that nobody can reach. Like on Iron Cafe, when HYPERLASER can teleport on top of that sign that says cafe or iron, whatever it says, HYPERLASER can literally teleport on top of that sign and nobody can reach him except, guess what? A range class or another HYPERLASER or Shuriken. If you don't have any of those on your team, guess what? Y'all are screwed. And even if you do have those on your team, it's still a great annoyance, because now your team is distracted from actually fighting on Conqueror or killing the other enemies, killing the other melees, whatever it may be, to just kill this one HYPERLASER who's camping on top of this place that Skateboard can reach, but Skateboard's gonna struggle to get on top of there. That's the problem. Like, I remember this one time I was playing this match and there was this HYPERLASER just camping on top of this big statue. And there was, on Bandlands, he was camping on top of the statue. I was like, how did he even get up there? I had no clue, but there was nothing anybody could do for the entire match. That is ridiculous. HYPERLASER's teleport ability needs to be shortened. It shouldn't be that he can teleport or be on places that are that high. They literally had to change Project Telemon, or I think that's what the map is called, Project Telemon. They literally had to change the structure of the map and put up barriers around it so HYPERLASERs could not just sit on top of the buildings and camp and shoot at the enemy team like they do literally every single game, doing 40-50 damage per shot, and the enemy team could do absolutely nothing about it. Tell me, how is this fair? Now, I've said a lot about how HYPERLASER is busted and how he's a stupid character. He's the easiest character in the game and he needs to be nerfed. But I also want to address another thing about HYPERLASER I also want to address ways I think this can be fixed. And the number one way I think this can be fixed is to lower his doggone health. There is no reason a HYPERLASER should be a tank with 200 HP. He does not deserve that. If he's going to have as many mobility moves as he has and do as much damage as he does, there needs to be a way to compensate for that. There needs to be a way to acclimate for that. There needs to be a way to change that. You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. So what I propose is that HYPERLASER's health gets lowered to a reasonable level, like 100 health, maybe 100 HP, like 50 shield, something like that. Lower this man's health. He does not deserve to have so much HP for the amount of damage and mobility he has. And another thing, his teleport ability, that needs to be nerfed. He shouldn't be able to teleport super high. The radius for it needs to be lowered so he can't teleport super high on top of whatever building he wants. And the damage, the damage is a big issue, but it's mainly the fact that when you try to... I understand the reason for the damage because he's a sniper or whatever it is, but mainly the fact that when you try to get up and kill him, you can't even do that. Because this man literally has mobility like a ninja that he should not have because he's a tank. Alright? So yeah, nerf HYPERLASER. That's all I gotta say.